Wham! Talk 1600. You're catching the drift. Conservative talk. Intelligent conversations on local, state, and national issues with Gary Wellings, chief editor of the Current newspaper and Current Online. Join in the conversation at 734-822-1600. And now, your host, Gary Wellings.
Hey, and good Saturday afternoon. Thanks for tuning in to catch our drift. Joining us in studio, it's Ed Bonderenka.
Do you have a different microphone?
It sounds
How did
good,
you do that?
I have no idea.
Wow, I'm impressed.
Derek, did we upgrade our equipment?
I want that software.
I want that software.
Sometimes it just comes out right, you know? That's I found my radio voice. It only took me 8 years to find it, but there it is.
You set the bar.
Okay, well, anyways, welcome to The Drift, and what we do every Saturday is go over the news.
You threw me off there.
I threw myself off.
Can we do it? That you need to know.
Okay, there we go. Woo! See what I tried to do something a little different, and I just screwed everything up. Well, anyways, if you're not going to thedailydrift.com, you should. It's the news you need to know. Between the two of us, we can't get it out. www.thedailydrift.com. News from around the globe, across the country, and even sometimes here at home.
It's what?
It's
the news you need to know.
There you go. All right. So anyways, lots going on this week. Right?
Yes.
Okay.
So makes the head spin going on.
Yeah. So before we do that, though, let's take care of a little business. If you're getting up in age a little bit, or if you're just worried maybe about your kids' hearing, you know, sometimes kids don't do well in school, and you know what it is? Could be their eyesight or
their microphone.
Or their hearing.
Oh, their hearing, yeah.
And Dr. Amy Arnold is at the Hearing Clinic, has some great evaluations that she can do for you. So you can call her at, and again, I have to get my eyes checked.
And we're making the numbers bigger in this issue.
24. Did I just snort? I did.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
248-881-3026. That's 248-881-3026. Man, I planned on having just the cleanest beginning to the show today.
You were doing real well. Derek, did you hit the snort button?
Get your hearing checked. It's important, especially as you get older, but yes, for young children too. So don't take it for granted that everyone can hear properly. Go to the Hearing Clinic and get your hearing checked.
It's the news you need to know. It's the hearing you need to have.
All right, so State of the Union this week. Were you impressed?
Oh, man. You remember that thing I said before about, like, I'm not a fan of State of the Unions?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
It changed your mind, didn't it?
Oh, man, that's how they're supposed to be done. He played them like a
fiddle.
Okay, a fiddle.
Yes. Yeah, that's American, dude. Those violins, that's all Euro stuff, you know.
Yeah, fiddle. He had them dancing like puppets on a string. Oh, don't sit down yet.
I was, he was professional. He was well groomed. It came off very nice, you know. And a 72 or 76% rating from CBS, and I think the CNN poll was way up there too. And if you watched any of those guys, they were besides themselves. The media was just horrified that just crazy. I loved it.
Oh, it was thrilling. It was just yeah.
I know, you know, some people are saying, Gary, you're such a Trump fan, blah, blah, blah. He sucks. Whatever. You're a never Trumper. You've got Trump derangement syndrome. You would have to be a complete moron not to say that speech was a good speech. Yeah. Probably the best I've seen. Better than Reagan. Anyway.
It was a mix. Yes, exactly. It's different to say better than Reagan. It's almost like heresy to say, you know, to compare Trump to Reagan. But hey, you know, bars are set and then they're jumped over.
Yeah. Oh, exactly right. So I want to start with Ted Cruz had some good comments. And have you noticed Ted Cruz's beard?
Oh, yeah. It made him.
That should have his own Twitter handle, Ted Cruz's beard.
Like Bolton's mustache. No, it's made his appearance. I always thought there was something a little off about, you know, babyface or whatever. It makes him look dignified, statesmanlike, and, you know, it might have helped him get the nomination had he had it in 2016.
Maybe. Yeah, well, who knows? Maybe the future will tell us what's going on. But I want to start with that. Derek, you got track one ready, and this is Cruz being interviewed on Hannity. And I think it kind of sums up everything that I could say and just not say it as well, I guess. So let's go ahead and play what Ted Cruz had to say about the speech.
we've seen in the past 2 years, the economic successes, the lowest unemployment in half a century, the lowest African-American Hispanic unemployment ever recorded, the lowest Asian American unemployment ever recorded, the lowest unemployment for people with disabilities. I mean, it's a staggering record of results. He laid out the record on national security, rebuilding our military, defeating our enemies, defeating ISIS. And that is a testament to policies that work. But I think tonight we also saw just how extreme, just how out of touch the modern Democratic Party has become. You know, at lunch today with the other Republican senators, I suggested to the newly elected Republicans, I said, look, my favorite game to play during the State of the Union. I said, number one, it's going to be good calisthenics. You're going to stand up and down and up and down and up and down. You get your aerobics for the day. Mm-hmm. But I said, number two, just spend your time watching the Democrats, watching their faces, the agony as they're trying to decide whether to clap, whether to stand. I mean, right up to the opening minute when the president is introduced, half the Democrats stayed sitting on their rear ends and wouldn't clap. You know what? Every time I was there for Barack Obama, I stood up and applauded, not because I agreed with his policies, but because I respect the office of the presidency. You saw just about every Democrat stay sitting, refuse to clap for the lowest African-American unemployment in history.
Yeah, there you go. So, and I found it odd that they would all wear white together.
They left the hoods at home.
They left the hoods at home. Exactly what I was thinking. I'm like, Nancy Pelosi, you could watch her. She was giving the hand signals or facial signals, whatever she was doing to try and control them. And it's just deeply disturbing to me that
they're empowered women. They need Nancy to tell them what to do.
What to do? What's feminist movement? Hello? You're being controlled? Do you not have minds of your own? I wouldn't expect all of them to sit there and agree lock, stock, and barrel on the same stuff. Think for yourself. You couldn't stand up for the best employment figures for African Americans and Hispanics? And I say this on Twitter and on Facebook all the time. If you are against Donald Trump's economic policies, you're a racist. Mm-hmm. You are a racist if you don't like Donald Trump's economy, because we have more employment for people of color and disabled than ever before in history.
And remember this fact for a later discussion we're going to have today. Remember this about employment levels and income levels. Yeah. It's very important for a discussion we're going to have in a little bit.
Yeah. So, and then they go on, they talk about the extremism of the Democrats. And this is where I thought Trump did so well. He played them like a fiddle, like you said. Mm-hmm. Women don't want to stand up. But he finally got them to stand up by saying, not only are women employment figures up, but we have the most women in Congress ever. And then they kind of like, I guess we better stand up for that, for yourselves, you selfish goons.
And then he says, and don't sit down yet. And they didn't sit down. They did what Trump told them to do. I loved it.
Well, it's because they're used to it. Nancy tells them what to do. Yeah. So there you go. All right.
Well, Derek, she didn't know when to stand up or sit down, if you notice. She didn't know.
What was she reading? The oversized sheets of paper. Was that like the classical speech or something?
Exactly what I heard. I don't know if it's true, and I haven't been able to find out. I heard it asserted that Trump had given out a copy of the speech prior to the speech, and he didn't follow the speach. And so she's all thrown off, like, where are we? What did I miss? What part am I at? Now, I don't know if that's true, but it makes perfect sense.
I don't know, but it's perfect. Yeah. That's the ultimate troll, man. Yeah. You just trolled her bad.
Gotcha.
She couldn't hold a poker face, which, you know what? Right. Number one, you've got to sit there with a poker face.
Oh, she's got that weird face where she just kind of like sucking her cheeks in and chewing her cud.
But oddly enough, in the last few times she's been on television, and including that, 6 months ago, she looked terrible.
Sour lemons. That's what it looks like. She's chewing sour lemon tablets.
Or sour grapes.
Yeah, well, that too, yeah.
She looked terrible. And Gary's going conspiracy here. But what is it that makes these people be so terrible looking, and then 6 months later, all of a sudden they look fresh right out the...
Botox.
Is it? Or is there something else?
Cocaine.
I'm just gonna put there's something else going on. I'll leave it right there because I'm not going down that rabbit hole right now. But Yeah, just amazing that the optics were terrible for them. If you can't stand and applaud for the good things, because whether you like Trump or not, whether you like his policies or not, there are good things happening in this country. And if you can't applaud that, you are as un-American as anybody could possibly be.
When's Joe Manchin going to put an R behind his name? He stood.
Yeah.
And there were some of them. I'll give you, even some of the women stood at appropriate times.
Alyssa Slotkin.
Yeah, there you go.
You know, we need to get her on the show. She's my congresswoman now, and I hear her on Gruber occasionally, and I am oddly surprised that she is not the crazy liberal that I thought. I'm sure she's still kind of liberal. Her father, I think, was a Republican, so she's probably not as crazy liberal as some of these people. But we'll have to try and get her. I'll reach out and try and get her to come
Gabbard in Hawaii. What's her first name?
Tulsi Gabbard.
Tulsi Gabbard. She's having problems with the party.
Is she?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, if Howard Schultz runs, the Democrats are going to have a real problem.
What's the name of the movement again? The walk-away movement.
The walk-away. Go ahead, Democrats. If you can't walk to the Republican Party, then walk to the Independent Party, because your Democratic Party has left you long ago. It is not the party of JFK any longer.
No.
It really isn't. And I'm hoping people like Slotkin or whatnot, if you're going to be a Democrat, be a JFK Democrat. You know, be a JFK with common sense and still pro-business and not a socialist, which is the way the Democrats' party today is. Let's basically admit that, right?
Well, they don't want to admit that. Nancy Pelosi doesn't want to admit that they are the party of socialism.
And
yet,
all these presidents. You saw who announced her?
Oh, yeah, the Pocahontas.
Pocahontas today announced her presidential candidacy from Lawrence, Massachusetts.
How does she manage? I mean, after all the embarrassment, you'd think that she'd let some stuff die down for a bit.
She's going to run on the "I'm sorry" ticket.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I faked being a minority to get great jobs and get to where I am today, so please vote for me for president. Because
cultural appropriation, man. It's as bad as blackface. It's as bad as her wearing blackface to claim she's a Native American Indian. It's just that bad.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. It's absolutely crazy. If you want to call into the show, 734-822-1600. Love to get your comments on State of the Union or anything else that you want, because it is indeed your show as well as ours. But here's what crazy Maxine Waters went off on prior to the State of the Union. Derek, you got that track ready? All right, this is Maxine, who, like the crazy Democrats, did not want you, the American people, to see and hear the truth. So she went off the rails and said, don't pay attention at all. Don't believe your own eyes. Believe me, Maxine Waters. Go ahead and play it.
I don't even know why he wants to come and give the State of the Union. The State of the Union under him has not been good, and he has been divisive. And I think he's putting us all in harm's way. And so he's not worthy of being listened to. I don't know why anybody want to pay attention to anything that he has to say. He lies over and over again. Like I said, 6,000 lies have been documented since he's been there. I just can't imagine what he's going to try and say. But since he is a great liar, he'll say anything. Because he's capable of saying anything without facts, without research. And so I'm not looking forward to his State of the Union. And I hope that people will turn the television off.
Well, she's a nutcase, guaranteed nutcase. But, Chuck Schumer was making disparaging remarks before the State of the Union along the same lines that we can expect more lies from Donald J. Trump at tonight's speech. These were the things that were being said by prominent Democrats that were, man, nobody would say that, from the Republican Party towards Obama.
At least not beforehand.
Yeah, not beforehand.
Maybe at the speech. Yeah. Joe, whatever, Congressman Joe,
what?
Whatever.
You lie. Yeah, you lie.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah.
But
was that the State of the Union?
I don't remember. It may have been something. I think it was the State of the Union. Pretty sure.
The one where was that the one where Obama called out the Supreme Court? I mean, you talk about disrespectful there.
Yeah, I don't know. And I hope we have some time to talk about Supreme Court later.
Okay, well, then
let's
forget
to it. But
talk fast.
Let's talk a lot faster. It was a good speech. It went off well. The truth was told. Don't talk to me about Donald Trump telling lies. They did their fact checking and they found some things that he said he may have taken out of context or exaggerated, whatever. But the fact is, the economy is better. And the fact is, there is a crisis at the border. And the fact